All right, y'all. I'm out here on 15th in Massachusetts, Stewart House Urban Farm and Gardens, my previous haunt, former home of the Stewart House Settlement, sponsored by United Methodist Church. They've been out here a good little while doing good things. This season was a little rough, of course, given COVID and all that. But I figured since it was so rough, we have the ability to, uh-oh, there goes a butterfly. Let me see if I can catch him. There we go. Look at you. Wonderful. Chilling out on some milkweed. But I figured this would be a good opportunity to talk about mulch, wood mulch, and its benefits. There, for some reason, a lot of misconceptions, a lot of myths out there about wood mulch. Number one is if you use it, it'll steal nitrogen. It won't. If you dig it in with the soil, you might have issues, but I don't know why you would dig it in with the soil. That doesn't even make sense in the first place. Using it as a soil cover is just phenomenal. It's excellent. So let me show y'all here. A little over a year ago, I pretty much single-handedly laid all this mulch down. You can see this pile here. There used to be two of them, and they were about 6 feet tall. So I came out here and got my John Henry on, and we only used this side of the field. This part of the field was not used at all. But I want to show you these weeds here, and look how they're in rows. You can actually see that the wood chips worked great as weed suppressants, except for where the rows were. The same thing goes over here. You can almost exactly tell exactly where I planted. Ooh, that's pretty. One of the other benefits of mulch, though, that I wanted to go over is how easy it makes weeding when you do get weeds. So what I want to do is I want to try to see how long it's going to take me to do the majority of these weeds and pull them up, because when you plant in mulch and when the weeds grow in the mulch, they don't have the ability to root super deep down. So it turns into a much nicer scenario when you do have to weed, even though, as you can see, if the chips are deep enough, again, this is a year without doing anything. And it's pretty much only in the rows. And of course, it's on the edges where it's thinnest, right? I mean, let's be real. But yeah, let's do a little time lapse and see what I could get done in 30 minutes. So as we go through this time lapse, I think it's important to point out a few things. I'm not actually planting in the mulch. Since it was clay, we took our shovels, we took our pickaxes, and we did a 24-inch wide by 15-foot long row, and we filled it up with compost and soil. That was kindly donated by Pastor Whitaker over at Faith Farms. Once the plants had started enough and grown enough, we then covered that soil with the wood mulch. So I'm not actually growing in the mulch. I'm growing in soil that's covered by wood mulch. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out is that wood mulch is free. Go to Google and look for tree care companies. They're always looking for somewhere to drop their chips. All right, well, that's 30 minutes. That's the ding-a-ling-a-linger. All right, so just to remind y'all, I'm a little winded. It wasn't an easy 30 minutes, but it was 30 minutes. So this is what the back half of the field looked like. Again, this was never planted on. Over here, we can see that where the wood chips were laid down, where we were really paying attention and using the land, the weeds are really only coming up in between these rows. Over here, you can see we had 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows. But look at this funky little sausage that popped up. It's like some kind of weird kind of mushroom. I did not expect that. I kind of thought a tarantula or something was coming out on me when I got in there. But again, mulch, awesome. Keeps the soil nice and moist, protects it from getting dehydrated, breaks down, creates more soil for you as you go. And again, I mean, you can tell the difference. Right over here, used to look, well, this side was actually worse, and that took 30 minutes to knock that out. And that's one person, right? So that means, you know, if me and my homies were out here, or you and your homies were out here, you'd be able to knock all this out in an hour easy. Taking a couple breaks, sipping on some Gatorade or Powerade or whatever aid you might be sipping on. So yeah, that's about that, I think. And I hope this has convinced you to join Team Mulch. I'm certainly firmly on it. And we'll holler at you later. Peace.